Hello everyone and welcome to Castle, well, how do we pronounce it? I pronounced it Dimitrescu, yes.
In-game, that's how you pronounce it, but according to our Romanian commenters, it is pronounced differently. But I suppose we have to go in-game lore on that one.
Yeah.
Look, I can't get out of my head the way she says you've ended the bloodline of Dimitrescu. I can't get out of my head. So that's how I'm going to say
That's true, actually. Yeah, to be fair.
That and her calling me a man thing, which I very much enjoy. So more of that.
Oh wait! We can't be pressing the button too early, can we?
What?
Yeah, no,
I do have. Are you sure?
Press the bouton.
There we go. It's Horny Jail.
Horny Jail.
Let's have Horny Jail. No.
We deserve to be here. We really do.
Anytime anyone gets a little bit too thirsty, we're going into Horny Jail, I'm afraid.
Yeah. It's where we live.
So chat, you have the power also to shout for Horny Jail, because I'm sure it will come up many times in this stream.
Yeah.
Yes, it definitely will. But before we dive really into Resident Evil Village, we have a special announcement.
We do.
It's to do with a very long-eared, cuddly creature that we're all very fond of and who has a drinking problem.
Is it me?
Bundy!
Oh. Hey, Bundy!
We have a brand new t-shirt
Here
for
it
all of you who
comes.
enjoyed our Phasmophobia streams. Woo!
There it is, floating on screen like a ghost.
And it's got our favourite Phasmophobia mascot, Bundy,
I'll
on
enlarge it slightly so you can have a good look at the design there. Look at that, that's
Yeah.
awesome, really cool design. And then if we shrink it down again, we can model it. Let's put it on Zoe first. There you go.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, nice. Oh good. Yeah. Oh yeah, really suits you there. That colour really goes with your eyes. What about you, Aoife? Let's try it on you, Aoife.
Okay.
Oh yes, the text on Here's Bundy really goes with that lipstick. Yeah, it's really
Thank
good,
you.
really nice. And then me, yeah. Oh yeah, great. Oh yes, definitely.
Looks great.
Something
Get those
I could-
angles, Ian.
Yeah, ride while I'm out and about. Wear while I'm out and about riding, even. So yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Do
I
we
will
have
pop a link
for
to
that?
it. Yes, in the
Cool.
chat right now and pin it to the top.
Nice.
But yes, you can get your very own Here's Bundy
There it is.
t-shirt.
Nice.
I love it.
Commemorate our Phasmophobia streams. We're very excited to have
Yeah.
some new fun merch up.
Yes.
Bundy really has been a help in our most recent Phasmophobia stream.
It really has.
Yeah.
He's kept
It's
us
been-
going, honestly.
Yeah, he has. It's
Yeah.
the one silver lining to come out of Ian,
Die.
crossing over.
I mean, yeah, there was a point where I was basically invincible, but now I die all the time, so it's nice that I've got
Weird that, isn't it?
something
Yeah,
that
but
shows you
you-
where I am.
Ian, you die so that Bundy may live, see?
True.
So it just really feeds into each other.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. But we're very excited. And that t-shirt is Zoe's, I was going to say love child, but that's not the right expression.
My brain.
Your brain
Baby?
child?
Yeah.
Yeah. You worked really hard on it. That
did.
was what I was trying to say.
Thank you. And I'm super excited because next month we have another t-shirt coming out that I'm working on. So you should be excited for that one. You really should. But anyway, yeah, Resident Evil Village.
Yes, hold on. I need to get my red wine on the
Oh,
go
yes,
here
do
because
it.
You're
that
so
was
on brand.
Is that
obviously gonna have
Regina Rosie or Sanguine Virginis?
it's obviously sanguine vaginas. I mean,
Oh,
come on.
the
It's-
top.
It's with the lipstick, it goes with these little cups that we're drinking out of. You
Oh,
see,
yes.
I've already had a
Oh
few
yeah.
sligs.
Who the hell needs vitamin pills when you can just have iron-enriched wine? You know?
Indeed.
Right?
No iron
That's-
deficiency there.
Indeed, yeah. You should probably
It's
stick
the
to the.
connoisseur's choice.
Yeah, instead I'm drinking healing juice, which I'm going to cut off my arm just to make sure I can stick it back on.
Oh my god. I don't think I've laughed. All right, so just so we're clear, we're going to be talking spoilers for Resident Evil
yeah.
Village, by the way, guys. From this point on. So, yeah, I don't think I've ever laughed so much in a game recently as when Ethan just pulls out the stump of his hand and just the comedy timing of pouring the healing juice over it. I was in
Unbelievable.
stitches.
I had
It
to
was
stop
amazing.
playing and message Aoife at that point because I was like, "What's happening?"
What the
It's
hell?
just
What
jumped
is
the
going on?
shark a little bit, Aoife. Have I missed something?
Funny enough, as soon as it happened, I also messaged both you and Aoife in Slack, being like,
Yeah.
What is this game? What is
going on?"
happening? But yeah, I
Explain,
think
please.
that moment was like the first sign that Resident Evil Village was not going to be the experience I thought it was going to be, to be honest.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. It was just a little bit. The fact that it doesn't get referred to after that until the very end just felt a bit like,
Oh,
like they weren't really covering their tracks as well as they could have. So Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting
that's
moment.
true.
If you play the original, you I guess you kind of know that he has a little bit of healing power, but it's never really made out specifically. And, I played the original a couple of times, and even I was like, why is he super how can he glue his hand on?
They never say anything about it in 7, do they?
No.
Yeah. And even in Resident Evil Village, they don't really... I mean, the biggest deal they make out of it... Once again, if you haven't finished the game, why the hell are you watching this? Because we're really spoiling this. Near the end of the game, when... Have you turned off? Great. The end of the game where Evelyn appears, like, she basically just says, "You're made of mold," and that's it, and then it's over, and it's like, he doesn't go like, "What the hell?" It's like, oh, okay.
Do you know what, though? Yeah, no, totally. But, that whole sequence confused me a little bit, because I felt like it was a bit wrong for Evelyn to turn up then, because I feel like for Ethan to have that kind of realization, it seemed wrong that he was having that moment and being mocked throughout. It seemed very cruel. Do you know what I mean? Like,
unless because it was Evelyn's mold, technically, that was like probably in him.
But it was almost like I didn't feel like, because she was never trustworthy when she was appearing in people's heads in 7. So it was almost like, is he being tricked here? Is he being made to think that he's mold? And it was just one of those things that I find very strange. But I mean, I find a lot of things strange about the ending, like, so honestly. But
strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It would have been cool if it was like, if someone like Jack appeared and that could be like a real strong callback to Resident Evil 7. And there's that scene in Resi 7 where Jack like appears to him when he's not monstrous, being like, you need to like help us. That was such a great scene in the original. If they'd done a callback to that with Jack being like, look, you must realize that you're not normal by now.
Yeah, that would have been more emotional. It would have been more trustworthy. I think that would have worked so much better. And I didn't even think about it until you just said it. But Jack, or any of the family, but maybe particularly Jack, rather than Evelyn herself, would have been better.
I love Jack as a character. I think he's genuinely fantastic. And one of the biggest tragedies of Resi 7 is the Baker family. So it would have been great to tie that into Village somehow. But Evelyn just felt like a kind of a, like, why would you trust her? Like, literally, why? You'd just be like... No,
come on,
thanks.
That whole last 2 hours, for me, it felt like they were throwing as many ideas into the bucket as possible and just whizzing past them all. So it's like, here's a bit of Evelyn, here's a bit of some exposition.
Here's a bit of Spencer mentioned.
So much happened that, like, I was talking to some friends about it, and I mentioned the hag, and I was like, what the hell even happened to her? And they were like, oh no, do you know, that was Miranda? And I was like, what? That completely passed me by. Like, when did that get mentioned? Because it just... when did it get mentioned?
It was very brief, but it was when Ethan, just before she rips his heart out and she's taunting him, in that whole clearing, she's walking through the trees. She appears as Mia, she appears as the old hag, and she appears as a few other people. It's basically sowing this idea that she's, she changed.
Yeah, I think in one of the notes it says, in the exposition room, it says that she can change form whenever she wants. But,
But I agree with you completely, though, Ian. Like, in the last half, from, like, maybe after Moreau onwards, it definitely, like, lost itself a little bit. I think the pacing went really weird. I hate the factory as well. I hated the factory in the Stronghold.
The factory was very tedious for me.
Weirdly, I enjoyed it more the second time I played it on stream, probably because I kind of knew what to expect. But the first time through it just feels like a real... slog. It wasn't enjoyable. Like the Beneviento mention, I could have played like a whole game of that. Like that was far too short, and it was the best. Really I think it was the best part of the game. Actually,
totally. That was my favorite part of the game for definite.
What I loved about the Beneviento mansion was that it like turned around what you'd done in Dimitrescu. Like it took away all your weapons, and that was it. Like it would have been cool if they kept kind of like twisting things with each house, so it was a new thing each time that you had to kind of deal with. But the Beneviento mansion was like. It was like a perfect horror experience. Like there was puzzles, there was hiding, even though I hate hiding so much. And there was like the one thing I do wish they could have done with the Benevientos is to give us more of Donna. Like I understand she was meant to be in the background, but like even just some more notes about what had gone on with her when she was younger, because she's meant to suffer from mental illness. So something like that would have been like her diary or something. I
feel like they shouldn't have just mentioned that in passing. If they're gonna use that, like. Use it properly and explain it and like actually don't just make it a throwaway comment. But that house itself and Angie, like all the dolls, they were really terrifying.
They were horrible. absolutely
They
horrible.
were horrible.
I hate Angie.
That freaky baby fetus thing really made me... It was like, I didn't find that game very scary. I think like the Resident Evil 7 had such a good slow burn horror and a feeling of dread all the way through it. And Resi 8 just kind of throws you straight in with werewolf attacks straight away. It's like chaos. It gets quite confusing. And then when it went all quiet for the Beneviento mansion, and then you're following this umbilical, and all of a sudden this PT baby thing comes out the door, I was literally like, "What the fuck?" Like, and the rest of it, I just felt like a bit like I was playing an action game.
Completely. Yeah, I didn't like. I understand having the Lycans at the beginning when you have that wave was a great way to show you that like. And the village design was a great show you that people are going to die. There's no safe house. Like everyone is just screwed in this, which was really cool. But it was so. Like, I was then really confused if I was going to keep having waves of Lycans come after me after that first one, because they were still barricading and stuff. Like, I just feel like they didn't really signpost the rest of the game that well, in terms of what to expect.
I do wonder if it was just, like, the production must have been... I mean, and especially given your wonderful things you don't know, you might not know even if you played the game video, Zoe. There's been so much that's actually not made it to the final game, and that's gotta be because of COVID and because of time constraints that have arisen out of that.
Yeah.
But one of the really interesting discussions that I've seen pop up about the game is, as we kind of mentioned, about the scare factor. Some people find it absolutely terrifying. Some people have said, like, you know, they're glad that streams of it exist because they're too scared to play it. I didn't find it scary at all. Like, really. I mean, there were bits of tension for sure, and Beneviento is probably the closest you come to being scared. Maybe I'm just, like, used to Resi games not actually...
scaring you.
Not scary anymore, because I'm just kind of used to what they throw at you.
I think maybe we're battle hardened after Phasmophobia.
Well, that's it, you know, and like maybe like it's just really interesting to see people's different kind of levels when it comes to fear in games. But I think I've just played too many horror games now. I'm just like.
I popped a link to that video that Aoife just mentioned in the chat, because it really is, like, Aoife, you're completely right. In the concept art, like, there's so many things that they were going to put in that honestly feels like they should have to make it more depth. But in terms of, like, scare factors, I found Resident Evil Village, like, almost more frustrating than scary at points. Like, I was scared in the Beneviento mansion, but when I was scared in, like, the castle and the factory and stuff, it was never because... of the atmosphere. It was because I was being chased or like I was under time pressure. It was never like I'm really like in the Baker mansion where it's like I'm freaked out by this whole thing. Like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Maybe do you think that's partly because like the premise of 7 is a lot more relatable in a sense, and Village is kind of just I think it's pretty camp actually.
Yeah,
like a lot of the stuff that happens there.
It definitely leans into the camp aspect. Like, Resi 7's got this cool, like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibe to it, where you kind of feel like you could get lost in the woods and end up trapped in, like, a horrible dungeon, like, basement with a psycho family that's going to torture you. Obviously, maybe, you know, the bits where they turn into the monsters is a bit far-fetched, but the bits before that, like, are really creepy. And then as soon as Resident Evil 7 kicks off, it's like werewolves and like creepy cackling witch women and stuff, and you're like, it feels like it starts off with a storybook montage, and it does feel a lot like a fairy tale rather than you know, a horror thing that could actually happen.
Yeah, and I mean, Resi does have very camp roots, as we all know. I think it was just, 7 kind of leaned way more into, like, actual scares. And in fact, you know, Dragon Brothers, right? They said it wasn't going to be as scary as Resi 7, as they'd had so many people complain that 7 was too scary.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But it's a horror game. Like, you can't tone down the horror of a horror game. Like, isn't that kind of...
Tell that to the shareholders!
But I suppose, they don't want... But that's so stupid, though. It's like we can't have it too scary or people won't buy the game. It's supposed to be a scary game.
Yeah,
like,
completely. And like, what's really annoying is that someone in chat just said, I'm sorry, I'll try and find your name, that the Beneviento Mansion felt more like a Silent Hill game, which I completely agree with. And you know why it feels like a Silent Hill game? Because it's thought about, it's psychological, like it's all about you being vulnerable. Whereas like the rest of the game, agree, like did not find it that scary. Like I feel like they had all these horror tropes they wanted to hit, but they divorced it from what makes them horror tropes, which is like tension, atmosphere, like feeling out of place, feeling underpowered. They just gave you loads of guns, which then just completely counteracts any of the horror that you would have felt. But yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just gonna say, and that's kind of like, it's weird though, because this is a completely cyclical thing that happens with Resident Evil all the time. Like this is exactly what happened with 4, and well, actually 3 as well. Like the games are scary, and then they get a little more scary, then they get less scary, then they get a bit silly, and then they get really, really, really stupid, which I really hope this curve isn't going to do. But then they get scary again. It's like, it's really...
What I found really, like, interesting about the end of Resident Evil Village is Rose. So, like, we've just got a super chat from DCC that says, do you think the next Resident Evil will time jump 16 years and have older Rose as the protagonist? Like, I think maybe they'll be trying to do, like, some kind of, like, complete reboot with Rose, because she's such like, seems like such an important character now, and like 16 years, you can have like a massive difference between Resident Evil Village and Resident Evil 8 or 9 or whatever they end up calling it if you have that massive time jump. So maybe they're like, but then again, she seems to have these like mold powers, so how do you make it scary if you're a powerful character? Maybe she'll be the villain, like, maybe. I don't know.
I think there's definitely... Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, in the exposition room, they mention the progenitor virus and Spencer finding stuff in Africa, which made me think that maybe they might try and, do Resi 5 like they did with this, trying to redo Resi 4.
Well, so but then, then you have... Because you do have kind of a next generation of characters now. You have Jake Muller. You have Moira, you know, and now you have Rose. But like, as much as there is an argument to be made that that's where Capcom's going, I really hope they don't, because all those characters suck. And also, it would mean the end. Like, the Resident Evil franchise is founded on characters like Chris and Jill and Claire and Ada and and Leon. Like those are what makes the Resident Evil series and what has made it endure for so long across across games, across books, across films, across everything. And like, to do away with that, I mean, Capcom probably will try it because they try everything. Like, they keep trying to make multiplayer games happen. But I don't think they ever have success with anything as much as they have with like mainline entries, including those characters.
Yeah, I think what they've really shown with, like, people are mentioning the marketing for Resident Evil Village being like very hinged around Lady Dimitrescu. And I think like that, surely that will have shown them that you can, as long as you have the right character, if you market it around that character, like the interest is there for someone new and different to be like this focus center point. Yeah. Someone else was saying they think Lady Dimitrescu DLC is coming because there was such a huge outpouring of like affection and like intrigue about her. And I think she's almost like kind of a tragic figure. Like, you get her diary entry where she talks about them, her daughters, like becoming her daughters with the Kadu virus. And it would be really cool to see like what brought her to Miranda, and like I guess all of them really, because she had a hereditary blood disease, right? So like maybe she was more like desperate than we imagined she'd be, because we see her at like the pinnacle of her cockiness and big dick energy.
It says
like,
in one
she
of the
might
notes,
not have always been like that.
It says in one of the notes that she's not from the village as well. She's an outsider, so where did she come from? How did she get there? What year did she turn up there? And...
Is she still a member of the Dimitrescu family? Is she just like ages away, or did she like adopt the Dimitrescu? I don't know. There's so many questions, but like, I'm just like frustrated at the amount that Resident Evil Village kind of the onus it put on you to find out the backstory. Like, there wasn't really that much story that happened in the game. It was very much like, go here, do this, like, if you read diary entries you'll find out about the villains, but apart from that they're just like obstacles for you to get to the MacGuffin. So it would be cool to have some kind of like a bit more backstory to them.
I mean, Capcom would be absolutely crazy not to do more with Lady D, honestly, because if they didn't know how big, literally and figuratively, she's gonna be.
Horny jail.
Damn it! But yeah, like, what are both your ideal DLCs? You can have more than one if you have ideas.
One of you being like a maid in Castle Dimitrescu and like seeing everything go to shit, because you can see the daughters like become the like killers that they are, and like interact with Lady Dimitrescu. Like, did she get crueler? Like the men disappearing from the village. I think Because in that, it will be like Aoife, you did that amazing video on why demos are so good for horror, because you don't have to survive it. So like in that DLC, you wouldn't have to survive it if you were a maiden, but also like you could just like have no weapons because you're a maid in a castle, like, and just kind of have that much more tension, kind of Resident Evil Baker Mansion like feel. I think that would be sick. I'd like that a lot.
So it'd be a more in-depth maiden demo that kind of encompasses more stuff happening, really.
Yeah, like more story, like earlier, get to see it really, like everything go downhill. I think that would be cool because I've been streaming Resident Evil Village, and people have said like fan theories about the daughters and like why they're in the places they are when you fight them. So there's the one in the opera house that's like locked in. People are saying that because she's the youngest daughter, Lady Dimitrescu specifically put her there to protect her because like she's her favorite. So like there's all these fan theories about the daughters' personalities and Dimitrescu's relationship with them, and it would be so cool if that was explored in the DLC to kind of like have a explorer twisted but positive mother-daughter relationship, which is so lacking in video games right now.
That's so
like,
true, actually.
I'd really enjoy that.
Because they do go to a lot of trouble to say that she did actually love her daughters, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, she had the roses on her heart. Like, she really did love them, but in her own messed up way. But I love that DLC. What about you, Ian?
Well, I kind of like, my favourite part is the Beneviento house, but I don't know, like maybe something set in the past that chronicles like how like Donna's daughter actually died, or how she ended up with her ghostly powers. Either that or a little bit more of Heisenberg's backstory, because even though the factory level is quite boring, I found his character
he's
to
a great
be quite
character.
like he's so flamboyant and loud. One of my favourite parts in the game is when Ethan he first gets introduced to the four houses, and the doll is like on the floor taking the piss, and then Heisenberg goes, "Shut the fuck up!" I was like, that's brilliant. The reading of that line is brilliant. Shut the fuck up.
I love the fact that Heisenberg is like almost the only normal character, because he's like, I want to kill Miranda. Like, she's a dick. And then, like, when he offers you the team-up thing and Ethan's a fucking idiot and doesn't take him up on it, he's like,
make any sense.
Your funeral, mate, and just lets him go. Like, somehow he's the most relatable.
He is!
But yeah, he's great. I love Heisenberg.
He is good.
I kind of, until he transformed, I was like, he kind of seems all right. He wants to kill the person we want to kill. He hasn't explicitly said that he wants to kill Rose. Like, he just wants to use her as a weapon. I don't really know how he's going to do that. He might like just hold the baby out and squeeze her a little bit. And
Squeeze
like the laser-eyed baby from The Boys. Just yeah, that'd be awesome. So, what do you think, Ian? You'd want to do it like when he came and encountered Miranda, or after that?
Probably like maybe how Miranda recruited him. So like I presume he is an original inhabitant of the village and he owned or worked in that factory. But like what was he like before then? How did Miranda get her claws into him? And I don't know how you'd be able to make that like a scary tale. But like his factory's so big, and when you stand in the factory and you look into the distance, it just stretches out into the distance, and there's all these conveyor belts with. I want to know how
cool that
was
looks
made.
Awesome.
Such a good image. For sure.
It was really cool.
Wow. Foxy says apparently you can actually see Lady D crying after she finds out Ethan's killed her daughters.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god, I did not know
Ethan's
that.
a monster. Like, he's trying to get his daughter back and he kills someone else's 3 daughters. I mean, they were a massive flies in actuality, but they still have a familial bond.
I've heard of an eye for an eye, but not 3 eyes for 1 eye. Jeez. Pink Magpie, by the way, pre-ordered one of those t-shirts. So high five, Pink Magpie.
Amazing.
Excellent.
Here's Bundy.
Here's Bundy. Where is Bundy? Here's Bundy. There it is. Whoa. Oh, it's flying around. Oh, the door.
Yeah. Ooh. So for my DLC, I'm doing it for the gays, and I'm gonna ask for more Chris Redfield, because like.
Oh my god, though.
Has he become a bit of an icon, new Chris?
Mask Alpha Daddy, Chris. He's always been a gay icon as Chris Redfield, and he just went full daddy in Village, like just
when he takes that coat off. Oh my god!
I know, the guns, like they're just like
oranges in those arms.
But like, I mean, it was slightly cringe. His whole wee alpha, like calling himself alpha, like was a bit okay. But I mean, fair enough. But like, still,
yeah, that's completely fair. She's doing it for the gays, everyone.
I'm doing it for the gays. I'm doing it for you guys. But I because you've already got us covered with the Lady D DLC, so
That's true.
Oh, but wait. Mike Farron did a super chat saying, "Quiz. You're a guest at Castle D. You crack open a window for fresh air and die. You died because the weather outside is A, frightful,
oh god,
B, delightful, or C, and we're going to have to press the button on this, wet.
Bonk!
Horny jail!
Horny jail!
for
Let
you!
me
Horny jail
out!
for you!
Let me out! Bonk! Bonk!
oh my god.
I've actually
We have
made a
missed-
list of all the super chats we've missed. So
Oh, good. Thank you. I was going
I
to
will-
say we've missed quite a few.
I will go through them very quickly. Christine Webb
Okay,
says,
go for it.
on the one hand, I would love to watch this live. On the other hand, I need to finish watching Aoife's Resi Village playthrough first. Here's some drinks money from me. Thanks, Christine Webb. Reader Okra says, was thinking about this yesterday. Why didn't the BSAA Europe use the Regia Solis on the Village when the Me to My Seat kicked off big time? They acquired it when the FBC folded. Seems like a missed opportunity for a space laser. Everything's a missed opportunity for a space laser, in my opinion.
Oh my god, so true.
Jammer77 says, first time catching a Tavern Time live. Got myself a spiced rum for the occasion. Also, in honour of this being a spoiler cast, what's the biggest stroke worst thing you've ever had spoiled? When I was on my honeymoon, America was watching Game of Thrones finale before we were, and because of the time zone, I was getting all of America's Game of Thrones tweets, and I got the Nightwalkers episode.
Do you know what,
spoiled.
Ian? I got that exact same one spoiled for me, but do you know who spoiled it, everyone?
Oh, God.
Danielle Basutti, so Freya from God of War.
Oh my god.
Well,
you forgive her that though, right?
We follow each other on Twitter, and she full on posted the entire. It was a video and everything. I was like, Freya, I love you, but that's. Dude.
Dave Darking says, I'll get around in. Yay, Bundy! You're all looking well, lovelies. I hope you've had a great week. All good here, I believe. For me, I had a vaccine. Yay!
Yeah.
Nick Dumont says that Bundy shirt would pair nicely with some jorts, or with some short jorts. Yes, definitely. What? Oh my. That's some angry faces there. I'll move on quickly. Lefebvre Rue says, happy to catch a live stream. I'm at home recovering from vaccine number 2. Get well soon. Resi question. So, you know the Cadou caused the lichens, so why wasn't Eleanor's father a lichen until after he got hurt? Eleanor's father...
She said he got cut?
Leonardo,
so maybe she meant like by a claw, like he got swiped.
Or
I
maybe
guess,
he got bitten and they just didn't see it.
In real werewolf lore, how do people become werewolves? Do they just get bitten?
You have to get bitten by a werewolf and survive,
Okay.
And then you tend to turn.
I guess it was that rather than, must have been normal lichen rather than Cadou lichen infections.
Injected lichen,
Angel B says,
I see what you mean,
Ethan, Angel B even says, Ethan was the non-fungible token all along. Yay. Redrarock says, I heard the Mouldy Ethan reveal was more impactful for the Japanese players because the severed limb scenes were cut from both Seven and Village in their region. Oh, not sure how true that is, though. Oh, I've not heard that either.
Interesting.
Dreadpool says, found out last night that Cadou is a Romanian for gift. Also, if Ethan's dead, how did Rose come to be Mia?
Moldy sperm.
Yeah.
Moldy sperm. I guess, yeah. She would have.
Well, Rose is like
dead mold.
She's got mold powers, so maybe she's probably like part mold as well.
Yeah.
She must be full mold. Isn't Mia basically all mold as well? Like,
yeah, they did those. There's those medical notes at the beginning of the game that say that Mia doesn't have any traces of like fungus in her or something. Maybe that is Rose. I don't know.
Because
we need
I think that's
science
Rose.
to sort this out. Yeah, hard science.
Although Mia was given he took the vaccine, and the whole thing about Seven was that they made these the vaccines.
So why didn't he crystallize like Jack did? Because that's the whole point, isn't it? If you're just made of mold, you just turn into like you calcify and you
This
crumble.
is what I'm really not sure about. So
that's one of those things.
Why didn't he turn into?
We have so many questions.
Yeah.
We need to go to Capcom and be like, right,
hold on a second.
hang
guys.
on.
I'm pretty sure a lot of this
taking
will be like, we were quarantined, ran out of time. Would have loved to have done more, maybe, but.
I think so.
Because it does feel quite rushed, a lot of it. We've got a couple more. Absutulaka 2 says, horror comes from the feeling of lacking control, being powerless. Once you have either have effective weaponry or can't be hurt, the fear goes away. Yeah, like especially that Chris scene at the end. There was no fear. It was like it turned into Call of Duty.
And then you get given that gun in your next playthrough. Like, it completely undermines the point of being Ethan at the beginning, because you can just go like, and just kill all of the Lycans.
And Illustrated Jill says, Resident Evil 9, The Burnside Chronicles. Oh, I'd love that. That'd be brilliant. That would be the best.
You can bring back Hunnigan, but please don't bring back Burnside.
I've put myself in horny jail for Hunnigan. Let me out!
You can't put us all in horny jail, although she is hot.
You can't contain us all.
We will not be contained.
Yeah.
Right, I think that's all of the super chats I managed to catch.
Nice.
Oh, there was one came in. It's just a heart from TYC.
Thank you. I have a question.
Yes.
What is up with the Duke? Because, like, you know when you're in the carriage with him at the end, and Ethan goes, like, what are you? The Duke's like, I don't know what I am. Like, I feel like there's something to the Duke that we haven't found out. Because he's like, he's almost like a trickster god. Like, he always appears when you need him. And also, like, if you look at him, he has objects from each house after you defeat them. So something fucky is going on with the Duke that, like, we don't fully realise.
Well, even the very fact that he has a title, because the very often they're referred to as lords, right? The four in the houses, and then the Duke as a Duke. He has his own crest that you see at the end. I think someone in our chat during one of our streams said that it's translated loosely like through money, you know, power or ruling or something like that. That's what it means, which makes sense because he's a merchant. But yeah, like, didn't you say, Zoe, in your video that that there were plans for him?
Yeah, he was going to be the fifth lord, like he was going to be part of the actual, like, you know, structure of the village originally. So it makes me think that, like, he's linked to the village somehow, because also, like, if we think about this from a, like, common sense point of view, how the hell do you convince Moreau, Heisenberg, Dimitrescu, and not Beneviento, but how do you convince those three lords to set up a shop in their domain? Like, there must be something, because even when you go into Castle Dimitrescu to start with, there's a logbook there, and it lists, like, meeting with the Duke to talk about business matters. Like, so he's obviously tied into the village, like, veins in some way, but we never know what it is. I mean, I'd be fine them keeping it enigmatic, because I think it's really cool just to have it, like, you never really know what his deal was, but because he knows the merchant from Resident Evil 4, wouldn't it be cool if there was, like, some kind of underground, like, profiteering black market that, like, knows when this stuff is going to go down, and they, like, know that someone's going to be doing something, and they're like, let's just go and set up shop there.
One of the memey kind of, like, unexplained things of the original Resi 4 is that the merchant just turns, like, you have to go through Leon has to go through all these trials and tribulations to get to places, and then he turns around the corner and the merchant's just there going, what are you buying? And you're like, how the did you get there? So I think maybe that line at the end is kind of like a little joke as well, which pointing to that. It's kind of like, hey, who knows how we got here? We just got here kind of thing. So maybe maybe it's just a little, like, tongue-in-cheek reference. But yeah, it would be cool to get more backstory of him, actually. I've changed my DLC ideas now to Duke DLC. I want some Duke DLC, but it's like a management sim. Like, so you go around and you have the stock, and you have to kind of get the best profit by selling things to different houses. And maybe you can
like
build...
Moonlighter.
Yeah.
Moonlighter, but Resident Evil.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, the Duke's such an interesting character. Do either of you have any, like, lingering questions from Resident Evil Village that you kind of wish that, you know, could be cleared up or something?
Well, yeah. I mean, I have lots of questions about, like, they're not so much questions as just, like, I don't really get Miranda. Like, they set her, like, basically what the room of exposition lays out is that she's like the you know, starting point for, like, for all of it, for Umbrella, for, you know, all of these bioweapons, you know, all of the science behind everything that's come to pass, like, is through Miranda trying to get her daughter back. But, like, who gives a fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who's Miranda? Why? Like, I don't think you can expect an audience to, like, I don't think you can tie a nobody character that deeply into lore that's been 25 years in the making.
Yeah. It did seem kind of like, well, I mean, Ian, like you mentioned the exposition room, like in the exposition room, it was like that Spencer who started Umbrella was like, oh, by the way, thanks for the holiday I had in your village. I have some ideas. It did seem very like, and this is how it links to everything. Like, I don't think you always have to link like weird events to Umbrella, you know? Just have a weird event.
True. And that is like, yeah, like I wouldn't want Resident Evil to be the same as Star Wars, where it's the entire bloody universe and it always comes down to two families. That's dumb. Not interesting. Don't want that at all. Like, I don't think all of the games always, like, it shouldn't be Wesker's the baddie every single time. But like, if you're going to bring in a character who is that monumental to the overall lore of this entire series, you need to spend more time creating them. Like, all of the characters, and I'm including Lady D and all of the lords in this as well, they only existed as far as they were useful to the plot.
Exactly, yeah.
There was no seeding, there was no development, there was no, like... And the real annoying part of it is there was so much potential for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I mean, it could have just been a sentence being like, oh, like, with its roots in a weird village in, Eastern Europe, wherever it is, the umbrella company, like, blah, blah, blah. But I think that, like, they could have just cut that out and just made it about, like, Miranda being a mother who wanted her daughter back. It felt like they just were just like, oh, why does she want Rose? Oh, because her daughter died. That's why. Yeah. That's why she wants Rose. Like,
that's exactly it.
They didn't spend any time, like, with her, like, through diary entries or whatever, being like, part of me is dead because my daughter died. Like, here's what happened when she died and what I went through. Like, you literally only hear about it, I think, when she tells you, like, or in her diary when she says, I went down to the caves after my daughter died, and that's it. Like, there's nothing, like... There's imagery in the village of her with her baby, but it's never gone into in that much detail, being like, here's the, like, lore of Mother Miranda. She, like, literally just, like, a villager telling you a story about Mother Miranda losing her child could have done something for the plot. But it very much just felt like, she is bad because she want daughter, and daughter she now have, and that's it. Like, it was so basic.
Yeah.
It was so basic.
That is, and, like, I suppose you could say, Resident Evil, but it shows such promise in so many other ways. Like, Resident Evil can be really damn good at setting the scene, and
they got the family dynamic of the Bakers really well done. Like, in the Daughters DLC as well, like, that scene of them finding Evelyn for the first time and, like, taking care of her was so heartfelt and, like, authentic, but it just feels like they forgot all of that good writing ability when it came to Resident Evil Village. I mean, maybe, like you said earlier, Aoife, to make it more campy, like, just to be like things happen and action happens and cool things, but I think so in the video that I made about 62 things you didn't know, they said that in Resident Evil 7 they used a photo scanning technique, which is why they had quite realistic looking characters in the Bakers and Mia and such, but for Resident Evil Village they wanted to make it more monstrous and kind of push the boundaries more, which is why the foreheads of the houses look so unique, like Angie and Moreau and stuff. So maybe they thought they couldn't attribute those kind of human qualities to people who were so monstrous looking, which is disappointing, but...
What do you think, Ian, like, in terms of, how it connects to 4 as well, specifically? Like, do you think I'm always confused as to, like, I still don't really know what their motivations were in emulating 4 so closely.
It's bizarre because, like, story-wise, it's not that close to 4 at all.
No.
But there's so many, like, little nods to 4, like in the remade Merchant, the glowy bits you have to shoot, the crystals everywhere, bling bling, and the whole village aesthetic and the weird keys for opening big doors. I presume they were maybe they just wanted to ride on the success a bit of the remakes. The remake 2 and remake 3 was so good. Maybe they were like, we don't really want to remake 4, but maybe if we give some 4 fan service... To
make it look a little bit like 4,
It kind of kills 2 birds with 1 Kadoo or something.
Oh my God. Yeah, perhaps, but then, like, that leaves a question with what are they going to do for Resident Evil 8 or 9, whatever they're going to call it, because they don't like us calling Village 8. Like, is that going to be another throwback to another Resident Evil game, or is it going to be like a new Resident Evil game like Biohazard was? Because what comes next? What happens in 5?
5 is where they go to Africa and they do the progenitor virus. It's not a fan favourite, no. But my favourite Easter egg in that entire game is when Heisenberg calls Chris a boulder-punching asshole. So all the events in 5 are canon to the world of Village.
Wow.
Which could
how did Moreau know about it though?
Everyone,
it became national news.
Yeah, just everyone knows about the man who punched a boulder into some lava.
God.
Maybe that's why he's changed so much. Chris has in this one, because he's just he's just
too
buffed
hot
up.
To handle before. Yeah.
I'd have been
Singed by the lava and too buff now from punching boulders.
Yeah, Sam Dilks in the chat says that like hard agreed the game would have been more Resident Evil if we played as Mia. Like that would have been interesting. Like playing as Mia, like she doesn't really have the gun skills of Ethan. I don't think she's been trained by the BSAA, but like she would be in the position of Ethan at the beginning of Resident Evil 7. I mean, although she did transport Evelyn, so she might have some, like she might have a familiarity with the guns, but that would be cool, playing a game as a mother who's just trying to find her child rather than dad-daughter syndrome or whatever, yet again in the video game.
Play Returnal.
Mia was an agent, but like yeah. But I still think I didn't ever really find Mia or Ethan all that interesting, but yeah.
Because you need more time to develop them as people, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? Like the original Resident Evils, the protagonists are the most interesting characters, and the villains are kind of just copy and paste almost. Like they're just like, whoa, I'm a bad guy. And then they kind of flipped it for the new ones, where the villains are the most interesting, and the protagonist is just like, hi, I'm beige.
Sometimes I almost prefer it that way around, at least, because you're spending more time, especially in a first-person game, you're spending more time looking at and listening to the antagonist. I much prefer an interesting villain rather than like a protagonist that's just an avatar more than anything. But yeah, I don't know. Capcom must be kicking themselves that they got rid of their most interesting protagonist antagonist so early on.
The first one you kill.
I know.
Like, just
shocking.
Unbelievable. But yeah, I think
if
they're going to have to do something else with her.
They must do. Like, I wonder if they were sat in the offices going, uh-oh, damn it.
When's the right point to tell them that we kill off this character in the first 2 hours?
Oh no.
But yeah, it just shows that like if you create a new character that is interesting and intriguing, I mean hot also helps, but like people are gonna latch onto that and they're gonna like want to know more about them, because I think what's really cool about Lady Dimitrescu is that she twisted those theories about her being a tyrant as well. Like she was completely unconnected to Umbrella. Like she was just someone who could mutate themselves, and that's what made her like different. It wasn't like, turns out she's a tyrant. It's like, no, she just got this cool mutation. Yeah. But yeah, I would love to see something else about Dimitrescu. Something to like humanize her a bit more would be cool as well.
I don't think I've ever seen the internet react to anything the way I've seen them react to
the only other thing I can think of is Bowsette.
Yeah, that's
Whoa,
it.
what about a Domitresquette? That would break the internet.
It
would break the internet.
Who knows?
Quickly, can we get a double high five for our new members, Sparky Dash and Burkazoid? I've been making notes of some super chats as well. I'll do some super chats later. But if you are thinking of becoming a member, you can. If you do that, you'll get access to loads of emojis and stuff, behind the scenes videos, and you'll get access to our Discord, which is very good. And there's even a channel in there where people show off pictures of their pets, which is my favourite place to be.
Oh, adorable. Adorable.
So good.
We've got a question here for you, Ethan. I mean, Ian. I've done that like twice.
I've done that too. I've done that as well.
Great, Ian. I hope you don't die because you're part of Mold. Do you guys think Returnal is a better game than Village? Ian,
do.
You've been super into Returnal.
I love Returnal so much. It's the best game I've played this year, I think. A toss up between that and Hitman 3 VR for my game of the year.
Oh, that's high praise indeed from you.
Returnal is it's just amazing, and if you're after a badass protagonist that's not a man doing
we're after
sad
that.
man things, Celine is so badass, but also the
it's
story.
It's not literally what
is
Lady
amazing.
Dimitrescu calls you, like man thing.
Man thing.
Yeah, Celine's journey is incredible, and I'm trying to make sense of the ending still. It's so abstruse, and there's so many theories on the internet that keep kind of like changing my mind about what it is, and I'm trying to unlock as much as I can to try and get to grips with it. But it's it's a really good story, and there's basically you have to complete the game 3 times to see the proper ending, and the twists after endings 1 and I think midway through the playthrough of your second playthrough just blew me away. Some of the most incredible twists I've seen in a long time.
Awesome.
So,
I mean, it's making me want to play it, considering I hate roguelikes. Like, that's saying a lot that I actually want to do it.
You must be pretty good at it now, Ian, because it is a very challenging game.
I streamed it the other night, and I did biomes 1 to 3 and all the bosses all the way through without dying. I was very proud of myself.
Well, you must stream it again here, and let's see the other half of the game as well.
Now YouTube's behaving itself, because last time YouTube wasn't behaving itself, and it really put me off my game. But
it was not. No, YouTube was being very difficult.
Yes,
unsurprisingly.
but I'm up for streaming. Any excuse to play more of it, I'm up for that.
Yeah.
But so for me, I prefer Returnal over Village. I thought Village was a little bit disappointing.
Completely, yeah. Fair. I was talking about it the other day with someone. I was like, it's a fun game. Like, I did kind of enjoy it. I did enjoy it. Like, I enjoyed it. Even though I hated Factory. But it's just, it's not what I expected. So I think as long as you preface it with like that, first half, second half kind of difference, then it is an enjoyable game. It's just after Resident Evil 7, it is so different from that it's not really what I expected. Especially because in all the trailers, like it really led into werewolves and like danger and real horror tropes, like basic gothic stuff that I didn't expect to be given a gun like that early on. I just thought
that's true.
Really?
Also,
running away from things.
The first time I played 7, like I played it through in VR as well, which probably upped the scare factor quite a lot. And I maybe the reason why I didn't find 8 as scary is because there is no VR support, and so I wasn't maybe as immersed.
Do you think it would work do you think it would work well with VR support?
Most of it, I think, could be changed to be VR support. I have a sneaky suspicion that maybe they may be holding it back for the launch of PSVR 2. And then they might do an update, like maybe a launch day update. There's absolutely no basis for that guess. It is literally a guess, but that's kind of like what I'd like them to do. Yeah, my ideal for PlayStation VR 2 launch would be a patch for that into VR, and also Half-Life Alyx on PlayStation VR 2.
Yeah, that's fair.
Big time.
In the chat, AlcoGod is saying, why do people keep calling it Village and not Resident Evil 8? Capcom did say they wanted it to be Village and not 8.
They did.
Which leads to another question, like, is this Resident Evil 8 or is it not? Like,
so the kind of accepted knowledge of Village is that it started life as Revelations 3, Resident Evil Revelations 3.
Oh, okay.
So it was actually, it was the very, very, very first incarnations of it. It was a continuation of the Revelations story. So that kind of makes sense when you think about a lot of stuff in terms of like Alex Wesker and Natalia Corda. Alex Wesker was Albert Wesker's sister, who was trying to, in the same sort of way, get a child to become a vessel for her consciousness to whatever, all that Resident Evil bullshit.
All that stuff.
So like I think that was what it started life as. Now, I don't ever think it got out of the planning stages really for that, so there's very little of that DNA left for Village, but it does show you that it wasn't really intended to be a mainline entry, and it must have mutated quite a few times before it ended up as its final form. But what I think is they started off, they thought it was going to be 8, and then because obviously, the initials are right there in Village, that's probably how they ended up on the name to begin with, but I think maybe they realized, actually, this isn't really worthy of a mainline entry, but then it is a direct continuation of 7, so like it has to be 8, like it.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a 7.5.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. But then they did say that Ethan Winters' his story is over, so like
they were so clear about that. They were like, "This is done now." Like,
they didn't. They were leaving no chance of him coming back.
He's done.
Like a super. Where did it go? One of the super chats I noted down. I think it was. Oh yeah. Here you go from Dreadpool. It says. Did you hear that in the post-credit sequence when the Jeep drives off and you can see a figure walking towards the Jeep? Apparently, it's Ethan's model. So I don't know how true that is. Have you heard that as well?
I think they. Yeah, I have heard that. I think some people went into like the base code and zoomed in, and you can see that it's Ethan's model. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's Ethan.
No.
It could be that because his consciousness is in the mold, and obviously Rose's consciousness is with the mold because she's part mold. She can maybe see him walking around, or maybe they just. But then why would they have put him there if they knew people?
I figured it was Chris when I saw it, but yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
High five to Jay Lovettful as well, brand new member.
High five. And we've got a super chat from Tim the Monkey that says, "Hi all, taking a break from using the last of the birthday prosecco to make cocktails to say Lady D and her daughters deserved better."
Ooh, yes.
Hard agree.
Do you know what though? When we were streaming it as well, their pleading for you to not kill them was actually quite horrible. Maybe it's just because I fancied them, but I was like, I don't like this. I don't want to kill them. Like, yes, they're trying to murder me horribly and they're slashing at my face, but like, Ian, I didn't know the Bundy t-shirt had been on the screen there.
Oh my god!
I was just wearing it. I was just trying it on. It's very comfy.
It looks good. I'm just catching up with the body.
Yeah, they really didn't want to die. Like, they had such personal voice lines when you fight them. You put it on.
I want to put it on me.
Oh, you want it on as well? Yeah, considering they're basically just a lot of flies, they've got many feelings. Okay, there you go.
They have distinct personalities. Like, I think it's Cassandra who's the especially sadistic one. Like, she's saying, "You're my prey. Like, this isn't fair. Like, I want to kill you." And then one of them who you fight in the opera house is like, "Oh, they all come to me eventually." Like, she's more confident about herself. And there's even a fan theory that one of them has dyspraxia, where because she keeps moving all the time, they think that she has issues with hand-eye coordination. Like, there are so many fan theories about how the daughters are in their personalities rather than as enemies that just makes me think they're ripe for more exploration.
Well, it just shows how desperate people are for more lore. Like the people, most people thought more about their backstory than Capcom did. Says a lot, really, doesn't it? However, Sam Dilks is right. They said that the daughters treated the staff. Their staff like shit, so they can joke.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, fair play.
They did.
Burkazoid did a super chat a while back saying, "Bonks for you all." I'm going to put us in horny jail for that. Oh no! Lionel L says, "Ian in short jorts, intriguing, not intriguing." Needed. Broxus says, "Non-resi question: has Zoe forgiven you both for all the puns in It Takes Two?"
I can't even bring myself to watch it because I just know they're in there.
Oh, it's so many. There's so many.
It's like seeing a storm in the distance. I know it's coming. I don't want to enjoy it.
Terry Fox says, "Thank you, Ethan, for playing the game on stream. I would have yeeted it out the window after the upsetting reveal of what was in the yellow bottle that Ethan got from Lady D and the other lords."
Oh,
yeah, that was a weird thing as well.
That
I was like, how
weird,
are we going to get my baby back when it's...
Yeah.
My baby.
My baby?
You sound like Moira Rose from Schitt's Creek.
Baby.
My wife's been watching it a lot, so...
I love Schitt's Creek.
It was quite shocking, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, like, I was like, what? How's this even going to work now? But
at that bit, I was just like, oh, fuck off. Like, just tell me it's a MacGuffin, with her blood in it. I don't care. Like, stop. It's...
It's Resident Evil.
I really lost my patience at that point. There's something I wanted to mention actually. So in the Village of Shadows storybook, when the little girl meets the Bat Lord, he bites his wing and she drinks some of his blood. Who is meant to be Lady Dimitrescu. At the end of the game, when they're zooming out of the Village of the Shadows book, there's a raven, and then a branch pops up with a tiny droplet of the same blood, which the raven eats, which could just be a cool thing, it looks sweet, or it could be a hint that something, because that is symbolically Dimitrescu's blood, that something Dimitrescu might not be completely gone, or something like that.
Well, ravens were Miranda, weren't they? I mean, there were always crows. Yeah.
Is it something to do with something they cut? Maybe Crow Ada Wong?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, the Plague Doctor mask.
Yeah.
She was supposed to appear, wasn't she? Yeah. God, that would have been...
And basically, wherever scientific research is, Ada always shows up to steal it. always.
very
So that's
true.
kind of her
Dependable.
thing. Yeah.
But yeah, it seemed like one of those things that could just be like a cool detail, or it could be what one of the events of the next game hinges on is, hey, did you notice this tiny thing we did as an Easter egg? Turns out that's actually really symbolically important.
Yeah. However, Ian, that's a really good shout though, because the Plague Doctor thing and just Ada in general, that really fits though. It could be a really cool nod. I wonder, like, because they would have. I think that would have been her role. She would have been basically doing what she does to Leon in every game. Shows up to help a little bit, flirts a little bit, and then inevitable betrayal.
Maybe they had to cut her out because the horny jail would be too strong with Lady D and Ada Wong.
I wouldn't be able to handle it, like
especially her in a goth outfit. Like
she's such a babe, like just too much of a babe.
She really is.
They did her dirty with the dress in the RE2 remake, though. I hated it, everything about it. Like, give me her dress. She had like this little cheap ruched looking thing.
Which doesn't she have one with like embroidery and shit on it in the original?
That's in 4, and that's the hottest thing ever. So we need to have that back, please, because it had like it was full length with the. I mean, it wasn't practical in the slightest, but that doesn't matter. Like it was just.
Does Ada give a shit though, or Ada?
She definitely does not give a shit. Like
Chaos Man is saying maybe she like stole the blood. That's
yeah. I bet that's like that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because Lady Dimitrescu, like the only reason she actually turns into her like mutant form involuntary is because you stab her with that knife of like 100 poisons or whatever it's called, the assassin's knife. So maybe she's like, because in Miranda's notes she did say that Lady Dimitrescu was very resilient to the like Kadu. So maybe there's something in keeping her genetic material to bring her back, which would mean you could have more of her in the DLC. So
if they had like yeah.
Carl McVicker did a super chat saying he's seen some cosplay of Lady D. Good thing I was sitting down. Oh my. Aoife should be one of the daughters. You do look like the first daughter that gets killed.
No offense.
And he says, hope you liked my pictures on Discord of my cats. I love all the pictures on our Discord of all the animals.
I love it.
Yes.
I need to stop by our Discord.
There's so many.
I do.
The last ones was some pet mice that were very cute. Aaron,
Mises.
Aaron Cole says, long time listener, first time super chat. I just want to say thank you for the hours of entertainment you've supplied in the last however many months. Thanks, Aaron. Shepherd Zora says, I completely destroyed my own immersion by playing on casual. At one point, I was running around with 500 rounds of pistol ammo, so any tension was completely gone, but I still had lots of fun. Fernanda Vieira says, there's scenes with the villagers on the trailer that we didn't see in the game. Do you think there would be a DLC with a village being attacked? Oh, that might be a good one, actually. Seeing the ransacking of the village.
Very tension filled is like men and women just go missing and you don't know what's happened to them. Like that could work.
Cool. Pete Smith says, hey guys, first Tavern Time I've caught live. Here's something to help to bail you out of horny jail. Oh no, we're in horny jail. No, let us out. Nick DeMont says, have to step away. Oh, sorry.
We're so coy when it comes to horny jail. Like, no, don't pass
Please,
in horny jail.
No, don't chase me, giant lady.
Oh, I tripped and fell. Pete Smith says, hey guys, first Tavern Time I've caught live. Here's something. Oh no, I've done that one. Nick Dumont says, have to step away. Has there been any talk of Lady D dragon design and how her layered maws resembled rose petals?
I didn't get that. Yeah, I didn't even notice that. That's so cool.
That's really cool. Dragon though, God, just when I thought I couldn't love her anymore, it's like, oh, you're gonna be a dragon now? Okay, now I need to lie down.
I love that, like her sass talk to Ethan, even when she was a dragon, was great as well.
Great. Would she go, I'll eat your flesh and blood? It's like, oh my God, please do.
Right, bonk. Horny jail.
Sorry. Sorry.
I also liked, because a few people have said as well that when she tastes his blood and says that, it's starting to go a little stale, because he's mold, obviously. Although I feel like he shouldn't really have blood. Like, I guess that's the problem of not really explaining what.
Maybe they can bring Lady D back with that excuse, though, because she's drunk his mold blood.
Oh shit, she's part of the consciousness too.
Yeah.
The mold is that like Ethan thought he was human, so that must have meant that his mold mimicked human body, like because he knows that he thinks he's human, so maybe it extended to his blood. I do think it's kind of like a cool idea though that it's like the imposter, or like in The Thing, like anyone could be made of mold, but they just don't know. You know?
Well, Jammer77 in a super chat says, how planned do you think that the mold Ethan twist was? It feels super rushed as it is, but maybe it might be development issues caused to COVID.
I think if they had planned it, they could have had more hints to it in Resident Evil 7 that like he was mold, because it says that it happened after Jack murdered him. But and they stapled on his arm, but it doesn't feel like it was really mentioned that much after that. Like,
no, not at all.
I think they could have done more with that.
Do you think like they made him mold just so that they could kill him all? I just don't get why.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't really a payoff for that to be.
I think they only did it to explain how he can take so much beating and then still go. Like,
it must be the plot device so he can pull his hands off hooks and get stabbed in the knees and things.
But still, why? Like, did they only have that just so that they could have the visual of those things happening?
Maybe.
Yeah. I think maybe it was for like body horror shock moments to be like, oh my god, he just cut off his arm. But I agree, it did feel rushed, kind of like
that moment when Lady D cuts his hand off, I was genuinely like, what the fuck? Oh my god, that's brutal. What? Yeah. And then that kind of shock 2 minutes later just turned to like, what the fuck?
Comedy, yeah.
Come on. That's stupid.
At the beginning, half of his hand gets bitten off by a lichen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, goddamn, that's going to make it really hard to, like, fight. And then turns out his gun has his other hand. Yeah. So when Lady D cut off his arm, I was like, oh, this is how the rest of the game is horror, because I can't use weapons.
Yeah,
so, like,
that would have been great, yeah.
And when he was just like...
oh, he literally
and he manages to somehow attach.
Yeah. It's like, okay, fine.
Cool. And the fabric gets attached as well. Like his cuff doesn't slide off. It's like
it's funny.
That healing juice is just something special. Really is.
However,
what was it you called it?
It
was healing juice. Yeah.
Distillation of glowy juice.
Oh my god, it was so dumb. It was so funny.
I've seen like a lot of people in the chat keep mentioning Donna Beneviento, and I completely agree. Like, I feel like she was done dirty.
Yeah.
Because Angie was fucking horrible, but Donna was
horrific.
Yeah, like because Donna lost her mum and her dad and had like a facial disfigurement, so she didn't want to go anywhere. Like, having more stuff from her perspective would have been really interesting, because it's like, I feel like Miranda appealed to Heisenberg, Moreau, and Dimitrescu's like desire for power, but she probably took advantage of Donna.
Yeah, that's true.
She doesn't really see reality the way that it is with Angie and stuff. So having her as like perhaps a villain that you feel bad for killing because she thinks that like she's doing nice things or she's just trying to have a family. Would have been really interesting, and to make you actually feel like a dick for doing it.
And in particular, that you kill her without even realizing it. Like, you come back to, and you've literally stabbed what... I think they purposely put, like, the parasite on her so that you can feel less bad about having just stabbed a woman in the face several times without knowing. But, But I don't really understand. So you say she lost her mom and her dad. I thought she lost her daughter was Claudia, right?
Oh, I completely missed that. If she had a daughter,
she had a daughter. She had a daughter who died when she was 9.
Okay.
I don't really know a lot else about her backstory.
I think she lost her parents because there's a diary in the gardener's house that says,
that's right, yeah.
Oh, she lost her parents and she's on her own. Oh, I'm so glad Mother Miranda has adopted her, and then he gets...
That's right, yeah.
He gets fucked up. But, like, because she was on her own after her mum and dad dying, she just had dolls to, like, keep her company, which is why... Like, as Gav said earlier, she split her Kudu into all her dolls to keep her company, which is why she was the weakest of the Lord, so you didn't have a big boss battle with her. But, like, that's such an interesting, like, development to have a villain be like, I just want to kind of stay here with my dolls and chill if that's cool, and then you're like, no, not gonna happen.
I'm gonna come and break into your house. But that fight, if you can call it that, the hide and seek with Angie was probably like the scary. Like, I actually didn't find the giant baby all that scary because I think giant babies are kind of stupid. But the doll hiding from you as everything kind of like because you do see her dress in your peripheral vision, or you think you do, and it's really effective. I think because the thing I hate most of all in horror stuff is being watched when you don't know where the thing is that's watching you. Like, I hate it in horror films as well. Like, if you know something's on the screen but you can't see it. Like, like I hate that.
It was so inventive as well as a replacement for a boss fight, being like, oh, you want to play some hide and seek? We can do that, but you'll die. Like, it was so creative, and it was such a cool way to kind of replace a boss fight, to have it more based on like almost like a time trial, that I thought it was super. I would have loved to see more of that inventiveness when it came to killing the lords in the other houses, something like that. But yeah, I completely agree. Angie was horrible. Would love to see more explanation of her.
Oh, Aoife,
sure.
you know the Moreau boss fight where he turns into the big fish?
Yes.
Did you try and shoot the water to see if he'd come out? And do you remember in Resident Evil 4 when we did that Let's Play and everyone told us to shoot the water? And we were like,
yeah.
okay. And we shot the water and then the fish comes up and ate us. I purposely went around shooting the water occasionally to see if there was like a big fish death Easter egg.
I didn't even think of that. That would have been amazing.
Yeah, unfortunately there wasn't. But that fish, Moreau's form must have been another throwback to Resident 4.
It had to have been, yeah.
The big
Was
fish.
the implication that Moreau like joined with that other big fish that was in the water? Because he doesn't turn into a big fish. The big fish is in the water before he turns into.
Yeah, he is the big fish, isn't he? Like I assumed.
You get in the boat and you drive on the lake, and then as you're in the boat, you see a big fin flip up, and then you like get washed up on a like bit of wood or whatever, and the Moreau appears, but he's not in his fishy form. So I think maybe he merged with him.
Maybe he does, yeah. I didn't even think of it like that, but yeah, I always assumed it was him as the big fish.
I assumed he was the fish, and like he climbs out of the water and he becomes this kind of more human form.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
I felt a little bit bad for Moreau, I have to say. Like, I think he was taken advantage of to an extent, as well as Donna, a little bit.
Yeah, his diary entries were very childish, but also like in the scrapped ideas for him, he was gonna have the like body of a girl he like was in love with on his back instead of like a giant brain, which would have been like so sad because when you find him, he's watching romance movies and eating cheese, which like big same. But like, it would have been such a forlorn character to have him like really enjoy romance movies and like have his dead love on his back, like. He is. I love the bit when he was like, "You're so stupid." Like, I kept you talking. I was like, "Oh, touche, my friend." Like, good job.
And I was kind of agreeing with him at that point. I was like, "God, Ethan, of all the times you decide to get chatty, like you're just gonna lord it over this guy. Like, really?
Why does he not just take it and like just run off? He has to go like, "Oh, I'll be taking this." Like, Ian, shut up and get moving.
Ian.
Ian. Oh my god. Ian, shut up and just get going with those.
Ian and shut up are very often close together in sentences, to be fair.
But just whenever Moreau was jumping out of the water being like, "I'm the best, love me mama, watch me," I was kind of like, oh, he just wants to be appreciated.
He does.
He really does. In his diary he says that he's scared of Miranda getting her daughter back because then she won't love him anymore, and it is very much like, oh god, okay, fine. Yeah. His crown is made out of villager bones, fun fact, so we shouldn't have too much sympathy with him because he's not. Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
But yeah, so what did you all think of the Heisenberg boss fight? Because we've covered Beneviento, now Moreau, and Dimitrescu in quite a lot of detail. But for Heisenberg, I felt like his boss fight was really disappointing and quite easy. Yeah. Like, I was playing on standard, but I found it very easy to get through.
Yeah, I found it pretty easy. It's basically just a Michael Bay Transformers movie at that point.
Oh my god.
Oh no, it's true
Really
though.
Is,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's completely fair. I loved Heisenberg. I really wish you could have spent more time with him.
I kind of wish that he hadn't gone through a transformation because his character was so interesting and he seemed so resistant to everything that was all about. Yeah. I just don't believe that he would have transformed. Like, he seemed so in control of himself the entire time and so aware of like what Miranda was up to and what the Cato was and his own and in the diaries it says that he was the most affiliate, like what would you say, like he was the best
vessel
match
at that point.
Yeah. So like I feel he would have been in complete control, but also he didn't fucking want any of it, so why would he transform? And he also, like, he let Ethan go a few times.
Sorry, Ian.
I'm so sorry, Ian. But yeah, like, I feel like there needed to be a different resolution there.
Definitely. I feel like Miranda should have killed him. Like, it should have been... I feel like Propellerhead should have been the boss fight, because that was stupid. Mini boss anyway, I think. And then like you should have resolved things with Heisenberg to kill Miranda, and then Miranda should have killed him disguised as one of his soldiers or something. Because then it would also see the fact that Miranda can disguise herself with people and make you start asking questions about what you'd seen. But yeah, Heisenberg was really interesting. Like, he's got dog tags on apparently.
Oh.
So part of me wonders if he was like in a war and that's how he met Miranda, like he needed healing or something.
Yeah, he does have a lot of military equipment in his factory, like there's tanks and things.
Yeah.
Sorry, Necromodes just said Ethan.
Ethan, brilliant. Brilliant. I guess. Well, the logical progression from Heisenberg is Mother Miranda's boss fight, which I kind of hated.
I couldn't stand it.
Got so tired. I will fully admit that I put on casual difficulty just to fucking get it done because I was so.
First time I played it, I did that too because I didn't die the entire way through the game, and then all of a sudden they just ratcheted up the difficulty for that one fight, and it didn't feel true. Like it just.
The way she kept switching between forms, like she didn't stay in one form. It was like crow to spider to like normal, with like shooting up glowy things. It didn't feel like the boss fight had enough structure to feel like you were progressing in damage. It was very much like, okay, she's just going to go back to spider form now. I thought I killed that form, but apparently not. Like, How cool would it have been if she had mimicked the other lords in her boss fight, and you had to then use the environments to be like, oh shit, how did I fight this one again? And then like at the end, she turned into Mia, and you had to kill Mia.
Oh shit, yeah.
Where she was like manipulating you into trying not to kill her. Like that would have been amazing. Or like
it would have been more indicative of who she is as a person, because we still didn't really know who she was as a person even after we killed her. But yeah, like there wasn't enough signposting to know when you were doing damage. I liked her design, but she was just a big bullet sponge. Like she was just a big old monster bullet sponge. Like, and it's whatever. It was.
I felt that about all of the enemies in the game, pretty much, apart from the thralls in the Dimitrescu castle. Like, no matter how many upgrades my guns got, I felt like I didn't see a big enough jump between the damage I was doing to Lycans at the beginning and in the middle. Like, when you have that section in the stronghold where you've got to just fucking fight waves of them until you get past, I didn't feel like I felt powerful enough to kill just the basic enemies quicker. Like, it really made me feel like, what have I been doing for the last 8 hours? Like, if not getting better at killing and, like, making these go down easier. But the one thing I did like about Chris's section was that it showed how easy the Lycans could go down if you have the right equipment. Like, they're just not... Because he's a super soldier, basically. Who gives a fuck? But with Ethan, it always felt like you haven't progressed enough to like feel like you're getting a hold on this village at all.
What did you think of Chris's section, Ian? I had to really think to say Ian, and like I genuinely had to be like Ian.
I honestly almost tuned it out a bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, oh, this feels like a game I've played so many times before. I'm just walking around. I'm a super soldier, shooting some dudes, got a bit of a laser thing going on. I'm not scared now. To be honest, like my attention span with that game disappeared after. I think it started waning during the stronghold. The factory, I got really bored, and then it jumped the shark so much. I was like, what the fuck? There's like a curve of this game for me, which goes up, and then it stays up for mainly through Dimitrescu Castle, goes really up for Beneviento, and then just a steady decline all the way down after that for me.
I will play it again, I think. Like, like, people have actually been mad at me for being really negative in the review and stuff, but I don't think I was, actually.
That doesn't sound
I
like me
know.
at all.
But I don't think I was. Like I've said, I did enjoy it, but it's a bit nonsense towards the end. It just is. But, like, that doesn't mean you don't, like, criticizing something doesn't mean you don't like it. No. It means that you can see that there are flaws there.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just loses. I think it loses a lot of momentum towards the end.
Completely agree. What I thought was going to happen with Chris's section, because like someone had spoiled it for me and I knew it was coming. I thought it was going to be a throwback to when he first appears in the village, and like he sees that Ethan has been there, and you're like following in his footsteps, being like, "Oh, okay, right, he's gone here, he's done this. So where does this mean he is now?" I didn't realize it was you just being superpower, super soldier man, like shooting everything. I thought it would be much more like, okay, we've got the resources, you go do this, blah blah blah. Like, I'm gonna kind of try and put together the pieces of what happened here, which I feel like would have been more interesting.
Actually, yeah. So my best friend Rory, so like he's the biggest Resident Evil fan I know, and me and him were chatting about the ending, and he was saying what he would have loved to have seen is kind of like similar to what they did with Ada and Leon in Resident Evil 4 with Separate Ways, is that, you know, maybe some DLC or maybe like towards the end, they could have alternated more between Chris's perspective and Ethan's perspective, like as you've been going through the game. So showing like that Chris had been somehow helping Ethan, rather than that bullshit thing where they were like, you should have told him, and Chris is like, no, I didn't want him to. It's like, fuck's sake, Chris, you could have sent him a text. You could have done literally anything except for what you did. Like, it was that was stupid. That was just stupid. But like,
it would have been cool if like he had been the one hiding the ammo across the village.
Yes, right. Like that would have been better. That would have been more interesting.
Because like I can understand the ammo being in the village itself. Sure, villagers have weapons they need to use, but like in Dimitrescu, in Moreau's place, in the Beneviento mansion. No, there's none in the Beneviento mansion. But like in the other things, like what if Chris had been like, I can't interfere because the BSA says I can't, so I'm just going to do what I can to like try and help him survive this. That would have been cool. Almost like an observer that then gives in and takes part in the last bit.
And it would have given people more of an opportunity to catch up with Chris and what he's been up to this entire time as well.
Yeah,
that's true.
Berserkoid says, F people who critique reviews have support.
Thank you. Thank you, we're approaching 5 o'clock now, and because this is a Happy Hour Tavern Time, we can't really have a Happy Hour Tavern Time without a quiz.
We can't.
Now I've instead of doing a BuzzFeed quiz, I've actually written a quiz for everyone to do today. So if you want to play along at home, it's a multiple choice quiz. So you just have to answer either A, B, C, or D for any of the questions. So I don't know if Zoe and Aoife, if you've got anything to mark it down, otherwise I can mark down your answers.
I can mark it down.
Literally getting a Google Doc up right now.
But here we go. This is called Ian's rather pleasant Resident Evil quiz, aka the Q virus. So what I did there.
Oh my God.
I did. I always see it. We got it.
Aoife, you'll know what you're in for because you did quizzes with me in the Alien Isolation Let's Play. Zoe, I'm sorry.
Are you though? I'm like,
Never. Okay, everyone ready at home? We're going to do a quiz. Right, so let's start with a light-hearted question first. Which one of the following is not a real virus? Bunny-a-virus lacrosse. That's A. B. Ocarus rhinophage. C. Coxsackie virus. Or D. Herpes.
Is that where you get in Hornydale?
Yeah, Hornydale right now.
I've caught the Coxsackie virus. Burp. So A is bunny virus lacrosse, B Ocarus rhinophage, C Coxsackie virus, or D herpes. Which one of those is not real? A, B, C, or D? Note it down.
You know what that sounds like, don't you?
What?
Coxsackie virus.
I know exactly what that sounds like. Welcome to my quizzes. Okay,
quickly move on. Quickly.
Question 2. According to the internet, which is always right about everything, don't you know, there are 13 ways of saying zombie on The Walking Dead, but which one of the following is one of those 13 ways? So 3 of these are fake. Which is the right one? A. Tuggers. B. Floaters. C. Om-nom-nommers. Or D. Rotty botties. A, B, C, or D? Which one of those is the real one? Tuggers, floaters, om-nom-nommers, or rotty botties? What would they say in the What would they say in The Walking Dead? Who knows?
Oh my God.
Okay, you're good. Right, you look good. You look like you're doing well. It's okay. There's only 8 more. What follows is a list of 4. Oh no! What follows is a list of 4 zombie movies. 3 of these zombie movies are actually real movies. What have been made and stuff. 1 is fake. Which one is the fake one? Are you ready? A. Remington and the Curse of the Zombadings. B.
Okay.
Big Tits Zombie, aka Big Tits Dragon : Hot Spring Zombie versus Stripper 5. C. Chomp on this, dweeboids. Or D. Nudist Colony of the Dead.
Oh my God.
A, B, C, or D? Would you like me to go over those again?
Yes. Which one's the real one, did you say?
Which one is the fake one? No, all of those are real except for one.
God.
There's a fake one there.
Right.
Okay, so it's A. A. Remington and the Curse of the Zombadings. B. Big Tits Zombie, aka Big Tits Dragon : Hot Spring Zombie versus Stripper 5. C. Chomp on this, Dweeboids. Or D. Nudist Colony of the Dead.
Oh, whenever I get a gun, I'm going to yell, "Jump on this Dweeboid!" Whenever anyone tries to attack me.
Jump on this, Dweeboids. Okay, hopefully you've marked that down. That was 3. Yeah. Number 4. Did you know that some people fancy werewolves? Well, they do. And some people fancy werewolves so much that they even write books about hooking up with werewolves. Here are 4 books about banging dog people. And unbelievably... And unbelievably, only one of these isn't real. Which one is it? A.
Oh my God. Okay.
Is it A, No Need for Love? Is it B, Baby, I'm Howling for You? Is it C, Between a Wolf and a Hard Place? Or D, Pull My Pants Down and Howl at the Moon?
I'm sorry, I need a moment. Okay.
Would you like me to go over them again, or have you picked your...
No, God, please, can we just move on?
Okay, moving on. Okay, number 5. If nothing else, Resident Evil Village has taught us that there's way more people in the world who want to get stepped on by a tall woman than you would have thought. But how tall is the Guinness Book of Records holder for the tallest woman in the world? This one's not silly. 7 feet 7 inches, 9 feet 6 inches, 8 feet 11.1 inches, or 7 feet 6 inches. So that's A, 7 feet 7 inches, B, 9 feet 6 inches, C, 8 feet 11 inches, or D, 7 feet 6 inches. Okay. Next question. Did you know that there is a huge market for haunted dolls on eBay? No, neither did I until I wrote this quiz. But there's loads. Honestly, it's weird. All but one of these following listings are real. So please tell me, which one is the fakeroo? Oh, no. Is it A? A. Genuine haunted doll. Warning, active spirit. Keep locked away at all times or risk physical harm. B.
Oh my God.
B. Haunted doll Nancy would sing on her farm. C. Nasty perverse possessed doll. Experienced adult collectors only. Or D. Haunted doll Big Paula. Tangible. Found in graveyard.
Big Paula.
Big Paula. Found in graveyard.
I get you.
A, B. So which one of those is fake, basically?
Oh, Lord, she come in. Oh, my God.
Oh, Lord.
Big,
oh, my God.
It's okay, there's only 4 left. This is going on longer than I thought. Resident Evil Village's Duke is a weird, mysterious travelling merchant who deals in a whole host of peculiar products, but none of them are as strange as the weird shit that I found on sale on Wish. Which of the following Wish products is made up pish? Is it A, super shining reversible colour changing pillowcase magical Nicolas Cage cushion cover? Is it B, personality pork pattern socks? Is it C, cutie booties for cats who hate cold floors, ages adult to senior? Or D, ingrown toenail correction tool? Ew.
I hope that one.
When you said personality pork in B, is that meant to be Peppa Pig, but just real screwed up?
Personality pork pattern socks. It can be whatever you imagine.
No.
Okay, on to 8. The bit in Resident Evil 8 where Ethan Winters reattaches his hand is pretty stupid, but reattaching limbs in real life is actually very clever. I mean, I couldn't do it, but doctors can. Anyway, what year was the first human limb successfully reattached? Was it 1932, 1969, nice, 1890, or 1962? That's 1932, 1969, 1890, or 1962.
Have you heard of the operation that had a 300% mortality rate?
No.
Someone did an operation on a guy, like, to get a... What's that thing that everyone gets out? The, like, spleen?
Appendix?
Oh,
appendix.
Yeah.
And the patient died, the doctor died, and the nurse died. Jesus Christ, it was so badly, like, there's no disinfectant.
They need to make a film of that.
Yeah.
Okay, question 9. Did you know that over 100 different types of weevil have been recorded living here in Great Britain, because they have. But which of the following is not a real-life Resident Weevil?
Oh.
Nice! I was proud of that one. Okay. Is it A, Sionis tuberculosis? Is it B, Infectum crepitu? Is it C, Dory Thomas hertipenus? Or is it D, Barris analis?
Oh my god.
That's A, Sionis
tuberculosis. Well.
C, it's A, Sionis tuberculosis. B, Infectum crepitu. C, Dory Thomas hertipenus. Or D, Barris analis. Or analis.
My favourite thing about these quizzes is he'll say one and I'll be like, well, he definitely made that one up. And then he'll say another one and be like, oh, fuck.
Honestly, these take quite a long time to do.
I bet. They're so worth it, though.
It's like you wait the perfect amount of time to get to the punchline. It's like that Kakarot carrot joke all over again.
Jesus Christ.
Well, thankfully, we've only got one left, and this one is perhaps the best. Famous author of gay niche erotic short stories, Chuck Tingle has written many books in the monster erotica genre. But which of the following is not a real Chuck Tingle book about banging magical beings? Which one is not real? Is it A, bisexual vampire unicorns teach me the importance of the vampire cough? Is it B, Wereplane butt party? Is it C, open wide for the handsome saber-toothed dentist who is also a ghost? Or is it D, the wizened finger of an angry old witch is casting a spell on my prostate?
For fuck's sake. I hate that I don't know which one it is.
Gotta love Chuck Tingle.
God, Ian.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Jacob M says they were so close to having a monetizable Happy Hour Tavern Time.
We were almost there. Oh, God.
All right, it's nearly 5, so let's get through this quick.
Okay.
Light-hearted question. Which of these is not a real virus? What did you both say?
I said C.
Yeah, same here.
You both said C. Coxsackie virus is a real-life virus.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's part of the meningitis family, I believe.
my God.
The fake one was Ocarus rhinophage, which is from Mass Effect.
What? Oh, the rhinophage. Oh,
Shit, yeah. Fuck. God damn
Question
it.
2. The 13 ways of saying zombie on Walking Dead. Which one did you pick?
I said,
floaters.
You said floaters. So you think they say nom-nom-nommers on The Walking Dead, Zoe?
The fake one. I said that was the fake one.
No, it was that. There were 3 were fake and one was real.
I'm going to change my answer to B.
No,
which I think
you can't do that now. Wrong.
God damn it.
So, Aoife, you were right though.
Yeah.
So, dip and dip. I've got to mark these down. Okay, number 3. The following zombie movies, 3 were actually real and 1 was fake. What did you go for?
C.
You went for C.
I said B.
You said B. You thought Big Tits Zombie, aka Big Tits Dragon : Hot Springs Zombie versus Stripper 5 was made up. That's real. That is a real movie. It's on IMDb and everything.
God.
Zoe was right with Chomp on this.
Yes!
Dweeboids.
It's such a good thing to
God.
say though.
It really is. Okay, number 4. Which of the werewolf books wasn't real? A, B, C, or D?
D.
I said D too.
You were correct. Pull Down My Pants and Howl at the Moon was made up by me.
Shocking.
Not that I wouldn't read it, but still.
If nothing else, Resident Evil has taught us... Oh yeah, tallest woman in the world. How tall? A, B, C, or D?
I said B, but I actually think that's Lady Dimitrescu.
It is
Yeah,
Lady
she's
Dimitrescu.
9'6".
Yeah,
Actually.
that was
I said
Lady
C.
You said C. That is the
Yeah.
tallest human ever recorded. That was Robert Wadlow. The correct answer was A, which is 7 feet 7 inches. It was Sandra Elaine Allen. And D, 7 feet 6 inches, was Chewbacca.
Aw.
What was it? Oh, the witch, the haunted dolls listing. Which one did you think was fake?
Death.
Yeah, I said B.
B. It was actually A. Genuine haunted doll warning. Active spirit, keep locked away at all times or risk physical harm. Was the
That was
one I made
Annabelle,
up.
wasn't it?
No, that was one I made
you
up.
made that up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
B. Haunted doll Nancy would sing on her farm was a real one. It's
Oh my
actually
God.
a listing you can buy right now on eBay.
Get on it, everyone.
Pinned in chat.
There's so
No, it's
many,
not.
so many
Don't do
haunted
it.
dolls on eBay. It's ridiculous.
I can't believe
There's
that.
a big market for it. Resident Evil Duke. Oh yeah. Which of the following Wish products is made up pish? A, B, C, or D?
I said B.
B.
Yeah, same here.
Personality pork pattern socks. The made-up one was cutie booties for cats who hate cold floors, ages adult to senior. No one's made cutie booties for cats yet, but I've...
Like Charlie wanting to make kitten mittens.
Kitten mittens, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Okay. The first successful limb reattachment was A, B, C, or D.
1962, which was C, I think.
That was D, 1962.
D.
I said 1932, which was A.
No, A is incorrect. I just put 32 in there because I like that number. It was 1962. It was Everett Knowles, who at 12 years old lost his arm train surfing in Massachusetts.
Rain surfing.
Yeah.
Do water surfing.
You got it right, and Aoife wrong. Where are we? 9. We're on 9. Okay, which in real life is not? What is not a real life resident weevil? A, B, C, or D?
C.
C and.
Which were they? Which?
So Cyanus tuberculosis was A. Infectum crepitu, which was B. Dory Thomas hertipenis, which is C.
That one.
And D was Barris analis.
Yeah, C. I said.
Okay, that is an actual weevil. Dory Thomas hertipenis. It is. I'll put the maybe I'm pronouncing it a little bit wrong, but I'll put the spelling in there.
Ian,
it's
you tricked
Dory
her.
Thomas Hirtipennis. Hertipenis. Dory Thomas hertipenis. The fake one was Infectum crepitu, which I made up in Latin. I used the English to Latin dictionary, and it is Latin for wet fart. So.
Oh, for goodness sake!
Okay.
Okay, and the final one was which is not the real Chuck Tingle book? A, B, C, or D?
I said D.
D was the wizened finger of an angry old witch.
Yeah.
What did you say, Zoe?
I said D as well.
You said D as well. That's correct. I created that Chuck Tingle book. So let's. Aoife, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Zoe you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're just ahead by 1 point, Zoe.
Did I? I said I got 4 on this.
Oh, I don't know.
You won. Yay!
I don't know.
We're all
I don't
winners.
know. Maybe I got the numbers mixed up. Who knows? Either way, we're all winners here.
Yeah.
In Happy Hour Tavern Time. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us for this Resident Evil Spoilercast. Hope you enjoyed it. All 1,000 plus of you. It was a lot of fun indeed.
Yeah.
We will.
We're sorry if we missed your super chats. We
Yes.
missed a few.
Sorry, there was loads. Yes.
And don't forget that we have a Bundy t-shirt on sale now. So if you enjoy our Phasmophobia streams and Bundy,
there it is. Aoife's wearing it.
Woo!
Aoife's wearing. You look stunning. Oh, excellent.
Looks so
Look
good.
at that.
You can buy your very own Bundy t-shirt. The link's in the
the
description.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can also follow us at Team Eurogamer on Instagram to get updates on all of our videos and streams and whatnot.
And if you're one of our brand new members, don't forget to go over to Discord and link your YouTube and Discord account so you can get access to the Team Eurogamer Discord channel. It's very nice. It's a lovely place to hang out. We've got loads more videos coming up for you every day of the week until the heat death of the universe, with plenty coming up this weekend. So you've got something tomorrow?
I have something Resident Evil makeup themed coming tomorrow, so I want to stick around for that.
Nice. I'll be live streaming on Sunday at about 1 or 2 o'clock. I'm going to be streaming the new Population 1 update for Ian's VR Corner, and then we'll be back on Monday with loads more cool stuff. So with that, thank you very much, all the super chatters and all the people who've been watching, and thanks to Mods for keeping everyone safe. We'll be back very soon here on Eurogamer. Goodbye.
Have a good weekend, everyone. Bye.
I'm going to lock us in horny jail for the weekend. Bye. Come on, bye. We will get free. Bye.